Let's journey back to a time before the familiar story of creation, before Eden existed, even before humanity took its first breath. Imagine an era of profound divine stillness, populated only by enigmatic figures known as the sons of God. Who were these beings present at the dawn of existence? Why are they mentioned so fleetingly, almost like whispers within the scriptures? If Adam was the first human, how could they have already been there? Consider the possibility that the creation narrative commonly known is merely one layer of a far more complex reality. What if a divine hierarchy and an earlier creation existed before Adam? A history perhaps intentionally obscured or even erased? We are about to delve into a mystery shrouded in centuries of silence, a secret hinted at in forbidden texts and lost scriptures. The story of the sons of God and a hidden creation that predates Adam. If you're captivated by ancient enigmas, biblical secrets, and knowledge considered forbidden, be sure to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the revelations ahead, as they might reshape your understanding. The Bible famously begins, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Yet, a curious detail emerges elsewhere. In the book of Job, considered much older than Genesis, God poses a challenging question to Job. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation, while the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy?" Job 38, 4 through 7. This single passage is pivotal. It states the sons of God were rejoicing before the earth was even formed, before Adam, before light and darkness were separated. They were already present, but their identity and the reason for their near absence in the Genesis account remain puzzling. While Genesis details a structured creation process, Job offers a glimpse into an earlier reality, suggesting celestial witnesses existed, beings with awareness and purpose. The Hebrew term used, Bene Elohim, specifically denotes beings of divine origin, not humans. This challenges not only the timeline of creation, but also suggests Adam might have been the first of his kind, not the first conscious being created. The mystery deepens. If these sons of God existed and celebrated the world's founding, their story belongs not to human history, but to something more ancient, something the scriptures only allude to cautiously. This leads us toward controversial territory as ancient texts outside the canonical Bible, long deemed heretical, suggest these beings were more than observers. They were integral to an original divine order, a creation preceding Adam. The Book of Enoch, once highly regarded by early Jewish groups, tells a startling tale of the Watchers, celestial beings assigned to observe Earth. However, they overstepped their bounds, descending, sharing prohibited knowledge with humans, and ultimately facing punishment. These figures appear to be the same sons of God mentioned later in Genesis 6, but Enoch provides their backstory, a powerful divine order existing long before Adam, whose fall originated not on earth, but in the heavens. The Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered after nearly 2,000 years, add more layers, describing cosmic conflicts, failed creations, and battles between light and darkness that occurred before mankind's existence. If this holds true, Adam wasn't the initial creation, but possibly a replacement, a reset after a prior failure. The crucial question then becomes, who or what were these sons of God before their fall? Perhaps what we call creation is actually a recovery effort following an ancient, catastrophic event. Scripture remains largely silent on the precise identity of the sons of God. They appear suddenly, celebrate creation, and later descend in Genesis, but their origins are veiled. To uncover who they were, we must explore the crossroads of Scripture, mythology, and esoteric traditions. One prominent historical view among early Jewish and Christian scholars identified them as angels, specifically a high-ranking order, perhaps governors or members of the divine council, mentioned in Daniel and Psalms 82. Yet their actions, as depicted in Enoch and Genesis, choosing to interfere, sharing forbidden knowledge, contrast with a typical portrayal of angels as obedient messengers. A second, more mystical theory arises from Jewish Kabbalistic thought. The sons of God were pre-existing souls, primordial sparks of divine consciousness from earlier cosmic emanations. They inhabited spiritual realms before the physical world formed. Some fell or were exiled. This resonates with Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Perhaps more than poetry, a hint of pre-existence. Some mystics propose Adam represented a tikkun, repair, for a previous shattered creation, and the sons of God were these ancient souls, now either embodied or cast down. A third theory, challenging Genesis itself, is the gap theory. It focuses on Genesis 1:2, and the earth was without form and void, suggesting the Hebrew implies the earth became void, possibly after the destruction of a prior creation. This aligns with ancient Mesopotamian and Egyptian myths of worlds crafted and destroyed by divine beings. Could the sons of God be remnants of this lost world? If the sons of God, whether angels, ancient souls, or beings from a lost era, predated Adam's world, their descent into the human sphere was a profound violation of cosmic law. According to the Book of Enoch, these watchers were meant only to observe. Driven by desire, curiosity, or perhaps pity, they descended bringing knowledge humanity wasn't ready for. Warfare, metallurgy, sorcery, astrology, cosmetics, and more. This, Enoch suggests, sparked a premature surge in human capability without corresponding moral growth, disrupting the intended order. Ancient Jewish texts like Sefer HaRazim mention angelic hierarchies guarding specific knowledge, accessible only through divine permission. The Watchers bypassed this, granting humans tools that mimicked divine power. Corruption followed. Mystics viewed this transfer not as enlightenment, but as a cosmic breach, destabilizing the balance between heaven and earth. It was contamination. The immediate result was the emergence of the Nephilim, hybrid beings, neither fully divine nor human, possessing great power and alien desires. However, many traditions suggest the knowledge itself was the greater threat. Gnostic texts hint that the real danger was humanity advancing too rapidly, grasping divine secrets prematurely. Like Prometheus stealing fire, the sons of God gave humanity fire too soon. Kabbalah describes this as a shattering of vessels, a break between cosmic order and chaos. Consequently, the divine response was not just punishment, but containment. The Watchers were imprisoned, their names obscured, their influence suppressed. But the knowledge they shared could not be entirely recalled. And perhaps, as we'll explore, it survived the subsequent cataclysm, hidden in symbols and myths. The forbidden knowledge spread by the sons of God had spiraled out of control. Humanity, no longer innocent and guided by otherworldly influences, was deemed corrupt. Genesis 6:5-6 states, God saw the great wickedness and grieved. What if the resulting flood was more than a response to human sin? What if it was a deliberate act of historical erasure, a cleansing but also a cover-up? The Book of Jubilees, an ancient Jewish text, claims the Watchers' corruption permeated the earth. Their Nephilim offspring dominated, and their knowledge reshaped civilization, an influence that had to be purged. The flood, therefore, could be seen as a cosmic sterilization, wiping the slate clean physically, spiritually, and historically. But did it succeed entirely? Lingering echoes persist globally. Inexplicably engineered megalithic sites, legends of giants buried in mounds from Malta to the Americas, and oral traditions, Hopi, Sumerian, speaking of a time before ours, beings unlike us, and a great flood meant to bury that memory. Greek mythology mirrors this with Zeus flooding the world to destroy the Titans, children of gods and mortals. Perhaps the most unsettling remnants are hidden in plain sight. Rituals, symbols, and secret societies, like Freemasons or Rosicrucians, seemingly obsessed with preserving ancient knowledge the world wasn't meant to retain. Could the Watcher's wisdom have merely gone underground, encoded in myths and mystery traditions, awaiting rediscovery? This brings us back to the central question. Was Adam truly the beginning, or just a new start? The sons of God, initially witnesses to creation, became purveyors of forbidden knowledge, leading to near destruction. Yet the flood didn't erase everything. Symbols endured, names echoed in myths, and some believe the Watcher's influence never truly left. Could it be that the truths hidden in ancient scrolls and beneath the earth are re-emerging today, perhaps in new forms? Digital code instead of stone? Frequencies instead of fire? If so, we are not just uncovering ancient history. We are potentially stepping back into its ongoing consequences. Are you prepared for that possibility? What do you think? Do you believe the sons of God or beings like them still observe humanity? Share your thoughts. And if this exploration resonated with you, subscribe, like, and enable notifications to continue uncovering what has been hidden. The truth often remains obscured, visible only to those actively seeking it.